I don't know.
I think probably by design, but we'll have to wait and see.
2nd and 8 for the Tigers. Alaria, the snap. He's running the option left. He cuts inside, and good pursuit angles by the Granite City defense holds Matt Alaria to no gain. It's going to be, well, okay, we'll give him a yard. Make it 3rd and 7. They did a really nice job of sealing off the inside that time, and Alaria had nowhere to go.
This Granite City team has come to play. They're pursuing the football well and appear to be on a high emotional level out there.
Staying in their lanes, too.
Tigers have answered the bell every time on 3rd down so far. Let's see if they can do it again. Alaria gets the snap. Fake to Evans. He's looking downfield. He steps up. He has to run, and he's going to be tackled for a loss. Play was slow and developing, and really just he didn't show him his best fake at that particular time either.
Unfortunately, he had the tight end, Aaron Skizik, wide open on the far side of the field, right by the sideline, but that small in statureness, again, one of the key factors, not being able to see over the offensive line, and he just didn't see him.
4th and 9, Tigers will have to punt it away on their first possession. This is the first time this year that's happened. And it is Aaron Skizik to do the punting. Snap is good, the kick is off. It's spiraling, picked up, and good coverage down there, Tigers special teams. Down there in a hurry. And one of the first ones down there, guess who? J.R. Ziegler.
No surprise to anyone.
Kamikaze man, that's who he is. Granite takes over, 1st and 10 from their own 12. 6 minutes, 59 seconds left in the first quarter, no score. Now we see how the junior, John Franco, responds to being elevated to the varsity lineup with the injury of Zach May.
And Granite City comes out with 2 tight ends, balancing up the defensive front.
They run the option left. Oh, well, no, they don't. It's a give up the middle to the fullback. That was a really nice ball fake by Franco. I thought he had it still.
Sean Odell right there on a carry. The Tigers not sure who had the football. Lucky the safety position had him covered.
1st and 10 for the Warriors, a gain of 18 on the play. Was that Odell on the run?
Sean Odell.
Okay, 1st and 10, 18-yard gain by the fullback. That certainly has got to help their confidence offensively.
Yes.
I formation. They give this time to Stagner off of the tackle, and he's got a sizable gain. He goes to the 40-yard line, a gain of close to 10 yards. Well, now they mark it back. It's at the 38. So we'll call that a gain of 8, 2nd and 2. They can run the football.
And a nice counter play by Granite City. And the Tigers jumping on the first back through.
2nd and 2 for the Warriors from their own 38. Franco gets the snap. The give is to Odell up the middle, and he is tough. He gets near midfield. It's interesting, the way they run that option, it's hard to tell who has the football.
Like the Tigers right now, I see a mirror image on the offensive side. Everybody following through on their assignments. The quarterback acting like he's going to the outside, tailback following him and giving right now to the fullback.
1st and 10, that was a gain of 11 for Odell, a bruising fullback. 5:45 left, first quarter, no score. Franco running the option again. It's over near another first down. I think they got all the way to the Tiger 42.
Odell one more time.
And in the early going, this Franco is proving to be the athlete that everyone said he was.
You know, we talked about Zach May, more of a thrower, and they've used that. Sometimes when you have a team that's really like Granite City powerful, the running game is really what gets you some victories.
They seem content to pound it right now. Franco, 2nd and 1, gets the snap. This time the give is to Stagner. He cuts inside for a first down. Nice running job by Ryan Stagner on that particular play. He kept waiting and got his spot and then accelerated in for the first down.
The offensive line for Granite City really is just doing the job, pushing the Tigers off the line of scrimmage, and as we've talked about, making their own line of scrimmage, and usually that's Tiger football.
First and 10 for the Warriors. They're at the Tiger 35.
Well, you know, unlike the previous 2 weeks, there's not the dramatic physical mismatch up front. This is an evenly matched group of linemen, both offensively and defensively.
The give to Odell, the fullback. He's stacked up by Beavis, and not much of a gain there.
Good penetration by the Tiger front.
That's going to bring up second and, well, let's call it 10. Second and 10 from the 35-yard line.
Be a good time here for a stop, and let's see really what Franco can do through the air.
This is the first time Granite City's faced long yardage. Second and 10.
It's always time to get stingy at this side of the field.
Elliott lines up wing right now. He's in motion left. Franco running the option. He keeps, cuts it up, and a gain on the play. I can't tell how much. Not enough for a first down. A gain of about 5 on the play. That's going to bring up 3rd and 5 from the 30-yard line. This first quarter has gone by very quickly. We're down to the 3-minute mark almost, and no score.
Reminiscent of the Collinsville-Edwardsville game from a year ago.
Best high school football game I think I ever saw. It was a good one.
Very good ball game.
3rd and 5 for the Warriors. Quick snap, Franco tripping and falling. Luckily, no late hit on that play. Tarpoff finished it. But in Illinois, in high school football, once you're down, your knee is down, you are down. And that was a bad exchange between center and quarterback that time.
A bad exchange, and I think it was called on the first count as well. And it caught some of the offensive linemen by surprise, and it was a very disorganized play.
Granite City will punt it away. Blake Westra stands deep for the Tigers at about the 10. And we get the first flag of the evening.
I think that's going to be offsides on the Tigers. Player jumped on the line.
Joe Beavis had a talk with number 68, who seems to be the guilty party.
John Todd, it's interesting to watch both these heavyweights trying to establish the run.
That's what high school football is all about.
It's on Granite City, actually a legal procedure.
So the Tigers catch a break. That moves the ball back to the 40-yard line. And Westra now moves up to about the 15 to receive. Good snap. There's the kick. It's short and end over end. Tigers getting away from it. Takes an Edwardsville bounce. Westra will let the Warriors down it. And the Tigers take over 1st and 10 on the 18-yard line, their own 18-yard line. We're 2:35 left in the first quarter. No score, but both teams certainly, the feeling out phase is over now. We know both teams can run the football.
No question, and that's whoever runs the football the best in this one is going to win the football game. Right now, it seems no different than the last few years, Edwardsville, Granite City. Low-scoring games, both teams being able to run the football, and the Tigers usually making the big enough plays to win.
This is Southwestern Conference football. 1st and 10 for the Tigers from their own 18. Hilaria gets the snap. Now he gets it. Option left. Hilaria shut down by that Warrior defense. There really wasn't enough room for him to pitch the ball to Evans as they again tack the short side of the field.
Sean Odell on the tackle, not only a good fullback, but got in there and made sure that Hilaria wasn't going to get the corner. I wonder when Beavis is going to touch the football.
I am amazed.
And you see right now why you need to exert inside running, because the Tigers have strictly gone to the outside, and right now it's not working.
John Todd, the game within the game, watching these coaches strategically position their players.
2nd and 10, no gain on the play. No, it's not Beavis, it's Hilaria. And he's close to a Tiger first down. He gets all the way up to about the, he's close to the first down, about the 28. He's at the 27. It's 3rd and 1, and it's not really 1. It's 3rd and about 2 foot. That time was the first time we actually saw Beavis carry out the fake on the option somewhat, and he still hasn't touched the ball offensively.
The Tigers cut down their line splits. They're foot to foot here.
3rd and short. Evans again has a hold, runs over one, accelerates, he's still up. Go Travis, and he's gonna be not tripped up. Oh, he loses his bounce.
Whoa.
At about the, 7-yard line or something like that?
Just shy of the 5-yard line. What a great run.
Well, you know, you practice that spin and roll move in practice against the dummies week in and week out. And Travis had great big dividends from it on that last run.
Evans has really, the transformation from his sophomore year to this year, he's gotten stronger and stronger. He ran over a couple guys in the middle here.
You would never have seen that 2 years ago.
No, he would have tried to break it outside a couple of years ago.
And this kid has a 5th gear.
Oh yeah, once he got past the secondary, he put it into overdrive.
Looks like the Tigers may go with 3 running backs. I see J.R. Ziegler now in the backfield.
The power I formation. No, they're gonna.
I guess Evans went to the sideline.
Here we go, 1st and goal from the 8.
2 tight ends.
Alaria keeps right side, short of the goal line, and that could be the end of the quarter. I don't know if we'll have time to get another play off. About 15 seconds left. Tigers don't really miss a lot when Ziegler checks in at that running back spot.
He's quick and he attacks the hole.
And he likes to block. And Westra comes in with the play, but they won't get it off in time. We've played 1 quarter at the end of 1. No score, Granite City and Edwardsville. This is Tiger Football on ECTV Channel 6. We'll be right back. A quarter, no score, but Edwardsville knocking on the door on the strength of a 55-yard run by Travis Evans. And now Edwardsville has it 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. A big break for the Tigers on the run by Evans. He almost went all the way. He just couldn't keep the bounce, but a great run by Travis Evans. He really pounded some people and then kicked it into overdrive.
Now the Tigers have Ziegler out there with Beavis and Evans.
The power eye is what's up now. The Tigers shift. Alaria the snap. He keeps.
Down close to the goal line.
But not in. 3rd and goal from the 1.
Are you as shocked as I am that they're letting Alaria run the ball as much as they have so far? We haven't seen any inside trap running.
I don't know if they saw something on the film that inclined them not to do that. I don't know, but the fullback hasn't touched the ball. And which is really not Tiger football.
No. They start it with the fullback, don't they?
Alaria is going to sneak it in. Touchdown Tigers. Matt Alaria, a 1-yard run with 11:22 left in the 1st quarter, gives the Tigers a 6-0 lead. And the quarterback is running the ball a lot tonight. Matt Alaria has, how many attempts has he had? He must have 5 attempts on his 9th run of the night. That is a lot of running.
And that's the tops on the Tigers. Evans has touched the ball now 6 times. That's it.
Aaron Skizik out of the hold of Blake Westra. Kick is up, and it is plenty good. 7-zip. Edwardsville, oh good. Oh, pardon me, it looked like it went right through.
One thing I did like on it, he shortened up his attack to the holder. Only about a step and a half, and he was right there. Just shanked it again.
I was watching that on the game as I watched it this week, and one thing that Edwardsville has to do is they have to get that conversion play much quicker. It's like JC said last week, the kicker's got to be approaching the ball as the snap approaches the holder.
There's a tremendous amount of synchronization that has to occur between that snapper, holder, and kicker to be able to get the football off the toe.
And not much time to do it.
No, about a second, maybe 1.2 seconds, and that football needs to be kicked.
So the Tigers jump out in front here 7-0, but we know that Granite can run the ball.
You know, so far, Larry has touched it 9 times for 24 yards. Evans, 6 carries, 94 yards, including that 65-yarder.
Well, I'm as mystified as both of you about the lack of touches by Joe Beavis. And whether it's by design or accident, whether it's due to an analysis of their offense,
Giesick.
Who knows?
Line drive kick fielded by Stagner. He starts left and goes right and is buried over there. Thought Beavis was in on the tackle. Now, he was slightly injured last week.
He supposedly got his bell rung, as we talked about him missing some action there for a while, and that was the cause. But you'd think if that's all it was, he'd carry the ball a little bit.
He's certainly playing defense. 1st and 10 for the Warriors from their own 25-yard line. Granite City had a pretty nice drive in their opening possession. And they really, now they have run the ball inside mostly tonight. Ferenko the snap, this time the gives to the tailback, Stagner. They try to break it off the tackle, and they don't have much of a gain there.
Tigers were more fired up there on that little defensive sequence. They attacked the line of scrimmage, unlike really that first drive.
We'll call it 2nd and 8 from the 27. Let's see if they come on the wide side of the field or they like to attack that short side.
Granite City once again in a tight wing I formation.
Now Elliott goes in motion across the formation. The give to the fullback, but this time Edwardsville waiting for him. No gain on the play. In fact, a loss of about 2. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10. Edwardsville has obviously made some sort of defensive adjustment here.
You always see that after the first drive. You know on film a little bit, but once you watch them in person, then you know for sure.
That's right.
3rd and 10 for the Warriors from their own 25. Ferenko drops to pass, 3-step drop, throwing for Elliott. Tip, and it's incomplete. 4th and 10. The Warriors will punt away, 3 and out. Elliott's their big play receiver, but that time he couldn't make the catch. The throw a little high and a little in front of him. What kind of adjustment do you think Coach Doherty and Beavis made with the defense as they talked about the second possession? Because it certainly seems to be working. There's the punt. It's a helicopter.
Unfortunately, they're going to get a flag on it. They ran into the kicker.
And that's going to cost them a 1st down.
I don't think it was one person. It was about 5 or 6. Just been informed that Jeremy Lieberman was on the camera for the first quarter. Now Jeremy Canio takes over here in the second.
Jeremy, I can remember that name.
Helps when you have a couple. A lot of people working it here. Cheryl Harmon also producing, helping us out along with us 3. Craig Zudi doing stats along with Don Martin. Have this place packed.
My hairdresser didn't come tonight. I invited him, but he couldn't make it. It's going to be a 1st down for the Warriors. Special teams, again, becoming a determining factor, and that really is the kind of thing that can get a team fired up and ready to go.
Well, the Tigers had the punt block on, and they aggressively went after that football. Unfortunately, they ran into the kicker.
Slot left for the Warriors this time, I formation. Ferenko is running the option he gave to the fullback. And again, Edwardsville's ready now for that fullback. They're thinking fullback first, then pitch.
Yeah, they've got 8 in the box now, John. They've tightened down their defense and are prepared to defense that run.
It also looks like, JC, that they're starting to attack some different gaps in the line of scrimmage.
Penetration the key here in defensive line play, being able to penetrate and create havoc, especially in a team like Granite City that runs that option.
No gain on that play, 2nd and 10. 2 tight ends set for the Warriors. Ferenko gives to the fullback, and he is through the line of scrimmage and then some. Making the saving tackle back there was Travis Evans. But they cross into Edwardsville territory, a gain of 18 on the play by the fullback.
And that looked to be the same quick hitter that they opened the game with.
That was a different fullback, Josh Wright, that first carry of the night.
And he was through the line in a hurry. 1st and 10 for the Warriors as they cross into Tiger territory. They're at the Edwardsville 42. Ferenko, the snap, the gives to the tail. No, play action, and he's in trouble. Sacked, and it was Tarpoff who put the pressure on and finished him off.
Great coverage back there in the Tigers secondary and nowhere to go with the football.
You know, not to second guess coaches, but I don't understand when you're successful running the football, why all of a sudden do you change it and decide to roll your quarterback out when you're having success doing one thing?
With a kid that's never played a varsity game.
Exactly.
A big loss on the play.
You know, not only is it a bad play, but it's sometimes a game-changing play.
Yes.
It'll be 2nd and 26, a loss of 16. Ferenko goes back to what he knows best, the option. He faked the pitch, and we get a flag as he turned the corner. It looks like that's going to be against the Tigers with the face mask. What's the decision-making process on that option play, JC? I'm the quarterback. I've got the ball. I'm running parallel line of scrimmage.
Well, it's important for the offensive line to eliminate any seepage, any penetration. The quarterback's going to attack the inside shoulder of the defensive end. If there's a running lane up in there, he'll tuck the football and run. If the defensive end closes, the tailback will keep a 4-yard, 4-deep pitch phase with the quarterback and follow the quarterback right down the field, prepared for the pitch at any time.
Now, see, that's a great break for the Warriors, 2nd and 9.
Exactly.
I would be very surprised if they put the ball back up in the air anytime soon. Ferenko the snap, keeps pitches. Short gain on that play, not much at all. Good defense by the Tigers, stringing it out.
And great run support by the free safety coming up in the lane there and making the tackle.
Nathan Becker also helped out. He came from the line and hustled over there to also make sure he didn't have another running lane back to the inside of the field.
Gain of 5, or 4, pardon me, brings up 3rd and 5 from the Tiger 37. Penalties have killed the Tigers on this possession by Granite City. They had the running into the kicker and the face mask. 3rd and 5, slot left for the Warriors, I formation. Ferenko, the snap, going again to the short side. They missed him the first time, but not the second. Great pursuit by the Tigers.
I think now that it's about 4th and 2, I think it's time to go for it here.
Yeah, I don't think they'll punt it down here. Interesting to me, and I would say to most observers, whenever they run that option, they like to run to that short side.
Yes, they're putting the 2 receivers to the wide side and attempting to create a soft corner where the cornerback is back off in coverage and then attacking that corner with the option.
Well, this is a big defensive play. 4th and 2 for the Warriors from the Tiger 34. 2 tight ends. Nothing fancy coming up here. Long snap. Now, there was a delay there for some reason.
I think he was probably trying to draw the Tigers offside, and once it didn't work, he had a lineman jump.
And got timeout called.
I think the quarterback simply, before putting his hands up in there, decided to call timeout.
They want to talk it over. It's a crucial play for them. If they get stalled here, Edwardsville has fairly decent field position. If they are able to maintain the drive, they could perhaps take it in for a score. Todd said earlier, 14-0 game last year, and Tigers pretty much had their way in the conference last year. That's probably the closest conference game we had.
It was, other than the Collinsville game. That was it. And you look back at the season and you'd be surprised by that. They only did beat East St. Louis 28-21 down there in a very good game, but Granite City played them as tough as anybody.
Big play here for Nick Petrillo and his troops.
And I don't know what that is about these two teams playing, but it's always close, always has been.
4th and 2. Could be the proximity of the two communities, who knows, but this is a big play for both teams.
And they're punting, or at least set up to punt.
Now, I'm really surprised by this. I guess they want to try to pin Edwardsville deep. Nobody back to receive. Now Westra backs up. Here's the kick. He goes for the coffin corner. Warriors have several guys down there, and Westra does the smart thing, fair catch. But you got to give that guy 3 yards to catch the ball. And Granite City a little over-aggressive on the punt coverage.
I like that. Again, fair catch. We haven't seen that too often at the Tigers. Could have bounced, could have been died at the 1 or 2, and now they're going to even get it closer to the 20 after the flag.
And it's a win-win situation. If you catch it there, it doesn't go any further back. Something like that could happen where they run into a guy, and sometimes the coverage can overrun the guy and he can make a return.
And it's a confidence builder too. Every time you go about doing it, when it's a tough catch, you're going to make it because you're used to it.
Well, let's see. Let's have a pool here. Who thinks Beavis will touch the ball on this possession?
You know, usually I'd say yes, but after watching tonight, I have no idea.
Well, if they've intended to use him as a decoy, they've been very successful.
They've been successful, that's right.
And you'd think if he's really hurt, eventually you'd see J.R. Ziegler in there at that position, and we haven't yet. So it makes me believe he will touch the football at some point. Maybe they're saving him since he does play defense.
Now we're getting quite a discussion out here on options for the penalty.
And Todd, your idea and this idea of catching and fielding the punts can't be overstated. It can create such positive yardage for the offense. And when a punt isn't fielded, very seldom do good things happen.
Have a chance for it to hit one of your players. You see that every once in a while if they don't get out of the way.
We saw that in the Washington BYU game Thursday night. The kid was down there blocking. His teammate said get out of the way, but he didn't. The ball hit him, and Washington recovers in the end zone for a touchdown. And by the way, those BYU uniforms are about the ugliest thing I ever seen.
Man, hideous.
Boy, they were bad.
You know, I liked Washington's change back to their old uniforms, the gold helmets and the purple pants instead of the purple helmets. But you're right, BYU has the worst uniforms I've ever seen.
It looked like they were wearing a bib with a number on it. Big penalty against the Warriors is going to cost them. Tigers take over. 1st and 10 at their own 27, 6.5 minutes left in the first half. Edwardsville 6, Granite City 0.
And like anybody cares, but I never did see who won that game.
I don't remember.
It was that good of a ball game.
I couldn't get past the uniforms.
The Tigers beginning a big series here with 6 minutes and 33 seconds on the clock.
This time it's Evans, second man. Evans picks his, no, it's Beavis.
I don't know who it was. Number 50 came away with the ball.
Was there a fumble?
I have no idea what just occurred on that play.
I think Evans was the original ball carrier. And
Alaria
kept it, okay. Craig Eagle Eye Zudi on that call.
Takes 4 people up here to see what goes on.
Looks like Alaria faked to the fullback and followed him right up into the hole.
It's good enough for 8 yards, 2nd and 2 for the Tigers. Alaria gives to, no, he keeps. And he's across midfield for a Tiger first down.
You know, Granite City's so concerned about that perimeter offense, the option game with Alaria on the corner, that Matt's simply faking to the fullback and following him right up into the hole.
Now there's something interesting here too. I've seen this in football the last couple of years. Instead of lining up in an eye with the fullback right behind, or the tailback right behind the fullback, they offset it. What's the purpose of that?
Well, it can cause a defense to make adjustments to perceive that alignment as a strong or weak alignment, John. It also can enable the tailback to get in better pitch phase.
1st and 10 for the Tigers from the Granite 43. Matt Alaria keeps again, and he crosses the 40 down to about the 39. A gain of 4 is going to bring up 2nd and 6.
For those of you watching at home, I think you're going to be as surprised as I am, as much as Alaria's touched the football. I know he's a good running back out of the quarterback position, but to see him just continually run it, I'm shocked.
5 minutes left in the first half. Edwardsville leads 6-0 over Granite City.
12 times now for 50-plus yards for Alaria.
Averaging over 4 yards a carry. Travis Evans gets it, picks his way through. He's going to have a touchdown. 1 man to beat. Evans down the right side. Touchdown Tigers!
Flag on the play, though. The line of scrimmage. What a great block he got from Demarius Coach, though, the wide receiver. Bring that puppy back.
That's too bad for Travis Evans. He is so good with his feet. He's so quick in the hole, and he just picks his way through the defense. And a good point you just made, Todd. What really makes an offense special is when those wide receivers get downfield and start to put a hand on
what a
somebody.
great friend it is for the running back, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
There's a certain collegiate team that does that well. I won't say their name, but I think that's something Miami does
Oh,
well.
they're great. Miami, Florida State, two teams that wide receivers are as physical as anybody in the country. And you get the same from Nebraska, just in a different style.
The big penalty against the Tigers brings it back 2nd and 13 from the 47, erasing a great run by Travis Evans. 2nd and 13, Tigers line up with an eye. Westra flanked to the right of the formation. Alaria looking for Westra down the right sideline. He's got it and steps out of bounds.
What a great catch, though. Unbelievable throw to the wide receiver in Westra. A very tough one, too. He wasn't sure which direction really to turn his body, but still great hands.
And Granite City in man coverage. The Tigers faking the fullback up inside, and Alaria laying the ball perfectly up the field.
They can't go man-on-man with Blake Westra.
Oh, no. And you talked about it before the game, John. A terrific condition as a wide receiver, and that just shows you. In punt catching, his receiving, it's just been magnificent, the senior wide receiver.
Great hands, great concentration. 1st and 10 for the Tigers from the Granite City 12. Alaria on the option, keeps. Alaria picks his way through. Close to a touchdown, but not quite. Down to about the 1. Matt Alaria has done the bulk of the work for the Tigers tonight as far as carrying the football.
I don't know if you guys saw or not, but the back official reached in for the flag there because Travis Evans really wasn't quite set and decided not to pull it that close.
Evans stepped up, said something to Beavis, and then he stepped back and they called the... So the Tigers get a break. 1st and goal from the 1.
And the Edwardsville offensive line starting to assert itself. Putting a body on a body, and Alaria making a great run.
They do have a size advantage, it looks like.
I am calling Alaria on the sneak. I'm wrong.
Nope, you're right.
I'm right, but as a keeper, touchdown Edwardsville. Matt Alaria, 1-yard run with 4:19 left here in the 1st half. Again, faking to Beavis, the fullback, pulling it out and is taking it right off the tackle.
You know, in defensive option football, to defend the option, typically a team will assign someone to the dive, someone to the quarterback, and someone to the pitch. And it appears that the Granite City linebacker is responsible for the quarterback, and they're running to the corner to try to reach the quarterback, but Alaria taking that ball right up inside and finding lots of running room.
And just small, it seemed like he tried to get as low to the ground as possible so that he didn't see him run on the inside. Very effective.
Tigers will go for 2. Full house backfield. Alaria rolling, throwing, and completing it to Aaron Skizik.
Anybody he wanted there. They had J.R. Ziegler wide open along with Skizik.
And the Tigers bump it up now to 14-zip over Granite City with 4:19 left here in the 1st half. We'll just stay right here. And the Tigers assert themselves, and really lucky to be where they're at right now because of the 2 penalties on the previous possession by Granite City. I still question Nick Petrillo's strategy, 4th and 2 from the 37?
About a 37-yard line, I agree with you. The Tigers now have scored twice, 2 6-play drives. First one 82 yards, the second 73 yards, marching it right down their throats.
This is an important possession for the Granite City Warriors. They've really got to try to get in the end zone on this possession.
And where has Joe Beavis been on the offensive side? I guess it's just a matter of him being a linebacker tonight.
Yeah, and then when everybody starts thinking that way, boom.
And you know, on this drive, Todd, John, a classic example of players making plays. Alaria especially coming to mind to me right now, the fake up inside and laying the ball up, making the big play.
That was a great pass play from Alaria to Westra. Skizik kicks over to the right side. Granite trying to get a return started. They got a little room on the left and finally brought down. Skizik and number 20 for the Tigers in on the stop.
I think there's a flag there for another Tiger face mask.
That was Paul Jonoff that got down there. And another penalty that could hurt the Tigers.
A hold, rather. On the Tigers.
How can you hold on defense?
Very good question.
It's a big one.
It's an unusual call on a kickoff team.
Tigers coaching staff also not pleased with the call.
Granite takes over 1st and 10 from their own 48, 4:07 left.
Working from the left hash mark.
They send receivers out wide right. Franco the snap. He gives to the fullback. Boys, try something else. That one's over for tonight.
Tarpaw country right there, and he just gave him a pancake.
He greeted him rudely at the line of scrimmage for no gain, 2nd and 10.
You know something else, where is Sean Odell, number 33? They've used as Josh right now the last series and a half, and Odell was the most effective player on the offensive side for Granite City.
Hard to figure. 2nd and 10, same formation, wide receivers to the right. They've tried one pass. Now make it 2. Franco steps up, throws the deep out. Nowhere near the intended receiver. Elliott bringing up 3rd and 10.
Throwing into cover 1, a 3-deep zone with the strong safety to the flat. And number 2, our strong safety, John Sanz, did an outstanding job in coverage.
Now Granite City is stuck in the mud. They can't move the football all of a sudden.
And we've taken away the fullback really for them. Not a speedy team really with the running backs, and I don't know if John Franco can really hit the wide receivers.
Ryan Stagner, their leading rusher, the tailback, has hardly touched the ball. Edwardsville getting a lot of guys up there at the line. Option, pitch. Stagner, no corner, loss on the play.
And here come the Tigers running to the football.
That's Tiger football. When teams try to run it, the Tigers are a great gang tackling squad.
Right before that snap, you can see that linebacker starting to step up, and he was just going to go straight upfield, cut that option off, and now it's 4th and 11. They'll punt it away with 3 minutes left. Snaps back. The Tigers have a return on. Westra fields it, starts down the right side, gets past 1. Westra cuts, has a seam, ran into a blocker, and lunges forward. He's at the 37-yard line, I think, where the Tigers take over 1st and 10.
We've talked about him again. Westra ability to catch the punts and make something happen, and along with his wide receiving ability, it makes him a terrific football player.
You know, I continue to be impressed with the caliber of athlete here in Edwardsville on this Tiger football team. These kids are skilled athletes.
And we'll see now if Alaria, who has touched the ball 5 straight times as far as running, where Evans hasn't touched it, if we continue that trend.
Coates goes to the right, Westra to the left. I formation, Alaria's running the option, pitching to Evans. Evans gets the corner. Evans down the sideline. Evans puts the shoulders down, crosses into Granite City territory to about the 41, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
That is 7th carry for Travis Evans, already over 100 yards.
And Todd, once again, a classic example of your statement earlier of the downfield blocking by the wide receivers. An outstanding stock block executed on the corner, giving us plenty of room to run out there.
And that would be Blake Westra. That kid's all over the place.
He is.
1st and 10 for the Tigers from the Granite 42. Westra comes to the right, Coates to the short side on the left. Option pitch. Evans has the corner and is driven out of bounds.
Can we say it again? Another great block from the same wide receiver.
And this Edwardsville Tiger option attack is giving the Granite City team fits.
And, you know, we talked about the initial block, but he just stayed with it and made sure that there was no way his man was going to make the tackle.
Yes.
This ball game has really changed climate here. In the early going, both teams really feeling each other out, and Edwardsville stopped on their first drive. Now Edwardsville in command.
Just a machine, you know.
Really, Granite City has not found an answer defensively. 1st and 10 for the Tigers from their own 20, or from the Granite City 28. The snap to Alaria, the give on the delay, and nothing there. And boy, that looked like a late hit.
And here comes the flag.
Was there one? Evans was clearly down, and one of those Granite City players jumped in there. No flag.
Now he threw his hat, I guess, or something just to spot the ball.
Jeff Hart, the player that got there first, a nice solid penetration from the defensive line, and we haven't seen that in a couple series.
Loss of 3. 2nd and 13 for the Tigers from the Granite City 31. We're down to 1 minute, 45 seconds left first half. Westra flanks to the right, Coates to the left.
Formation into the boundary.
Alaria looking for Westra. Oh, just off his fingertips. He did such a good job of adjusting to the ball. Couldn't quite hold on to it.
And if it went over the right shoulder he wanted it to, that probably would have been 6 points, but you're right, John, great adjustment.
I would think, never having been a wide receiver, but I would think that the main thing that they got to have is concentration. And Westra certainly exhibits that. You can't worry about getting hit. You got to worry about catching the ball.
It's a feel for going to get the football, isn't it?
And knowing where you're at on the field.
Yep.
3rd and long for the Tigers. 3rd and 13 from the Granite City 31. Alaria with the keep. Nobody near him. Nobody touched him. He breaks it outside. He's got the first down and then some. Nobody touched him on that offense play. Not a soul touched him until he broke it to the outside.
Quick with the feed, and nobody could bring him down either. They just had to knock him out of bounds.
How can a guy go on an option play like that and nobody on the defense touch you?
Well, it looked like a quarterback draw, kind of a quick quarterback draw. He dropped back 3 steps and then brought it back up inside. Both linebackers had expanded into their zones, and he had a free running lane up in there, and he took full advantage of it.
And a penalty on Granite City to go along with it. Roughing penalty, so the Tigers are going to get it closer to the end zone.
1st and goal from the 3.
You know, so often defensive fronts will shift strong or weak depending on the formation of the Tiger offense. When the Tiger offense comes out there in 2 tight ends, it forces Granite City then to play a straight-up defense and not shift one way or the other.
And here we go, 2 tight ends. We don't have the right number of people out there. I think we were a guy short. We had 3 in the backfield and 7 on the line. That doesn't add up to 11. The Tigers just having their way with Granite City right now. It's a bit of a surprise. I really expected the game to be a lot closer than it is.
Second quarter definitely owned by these Tigers.
Well, I'm impressed by the speed of number 21, Travis Evans, and also the quick feet and ability to make people miss.
And if you would have seen him as a sophomore, you wouldn't believe the way he has changed. When he was a sophomore, I think he was a little skittish. He'd like to bounce it outside. Now he can slash, more of a slash
and
off the tackle.
Only way the Tigers really used him with the pitch. That was about the only way he touched the football, and never a straight handoff. And I think at the first game last year, all of us up here were shocked that it was a straight handoff most of the time that first game, and then now his ability to run people over. He started that last year. He wasn't great at running people over, but he did run inside.
And these guys hit these weights year-round. I mean, they are solid.
And he is so dedicated. Loves the game of football and loves to compete.
Full house backfield for the Tigers, 2 tight ends. Long count, now Alaria the snap. Cuts it at the goal line, still trying. Not quite in there. It's going to be 2nd and goal. Alaria did a nice job again on the option. He saw that little crease and just slid right in there. Gain of 1. 2nd and goal for the Tigers from the 2. Full house backfield, 2 tight ends. Alaria goes over the right side, gets behind Nick Tarpoff, and takes it in for a Tiger touchdown.
That's his 3rd. This one of 2 yards. I think he's had 2 of 2 yards and 1 of 1.
Oh, that's his 2nd, isn't it? Evans has 1 and 3rd. He has all 3. I thought Evans scored. No,
that was the flag.
That was the flag, that's right. So, Matt Alaria with 3 touchdowns, and the Tigers now lead 20-zip over Granite City. Aaron Skizik to try the extra point out of the hold of Blake Westra. Snap back, kick up, And good. And the Tigers lead 21-zip as they are systematically destroying the Granite City Warriors. That right side of that Tiger line's not a bad place to run, is it?
No, and that's really with, you speak of Nick Tarpoff, the guard, Richard Sanders, 245, 265, along then with Ryan Walsh, who's now the center at 245. A lot of size. Walsh just a sophomore playing the center position, and they're just really exerting themselves. And last 2 touchdowns was out of that same play, a little quarterback sneak with 3 running backs in the backfield, and both times Darrell Luster came in, and it was funny that both times they ran the same play.
53 seconds left here in the first half. Edwardsville in command, 21-zip.
That offensive line certainly asserting themselves in short yardage and goal line plays, lining up shoulder to shoulder and creating a new line of scrimmage.
And we'll see how well Granite City responds, because looking over at them on the field, on the sidelines, very demoralized.
Skizik is ready. He tees it up and kicks a ground ball. Fielded, 25, 30, 35. I think that was Ryan Stagner on the return. No, 27.
Matt Townsend on the tackle, he just jumped on his back and hauled him down.
And you know, with 50 seconds or so left in the game, kicking that ball, a good coaching decision to eliminate the potential for a long run back by one of their highly skilled kick returners.
1st and 10 for the Warriors from their own 34, 48.1 seconds left here. Franco sets him. Gets the snap, the give. Well, they're determined to give the ball to the fullback.
Richard Sanders right away. Nobody blocking that, either defensive tackles.
I did not understand that. Party's over, fellas. Try something new. Gain of 1, 2nd and 9 for Granite City. 20 seconds left first half. This should be the last play of the half.
And it's interesting, no Sean Odell once again. He's not been in there since the first couple drives.
And our free safety, the Edwardsville safety, a full 15 yards deep.
Now there's a give to the fullback and a first down. Blake Wester on the tackle for Edwardsville.
Once again, Josh Wright, he's had 2 good carries, but after that, he's been stuffed.
The clock stops as we move the chains. Now timeout on the field called by Granite City. Really is amazing that the fullback they had in first, who was that?
Sean Odell.
Odell, so effective.
Yeah, and I have no idea, because we've seen him play defense still.
What number is he?
Number 33.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can find him over there. I wonder if he got injured.
Odell, 5 carries, 39 yards.
That's 8 yards a pop.
All in the first quarter. He had a run of 18, of 11, and 9, and then only 1 and 0. So the last 2 not quite as good. The first 3, fabulous.
5 seconds left in the half. The ball at the Tiger 49.
I like this. Stats in a heartbeat. Get him right away.
John Todd, is that our defensive coordinator out there on the field advising the defense?
That's Coach.
Head coach Tim Doherty.
That's Tim Doherty, okay.
At the man. Yeah, there's Odell. He's just standing on the sideline with his hands on his hips. He's in the coach's doghouse for some reason. Now we have a stoppage in play and equipment thing. That's taken care of.
Well,
Here we go.
A very surprising 21-0 lead by the Tigers.
Franco dropping to throw. He's got pressure from Tarpoff. He gets it off. Almost picked off. Incomplete, and the half has ended at the end of a half. Edwardsville 21, Granite City 0. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with the second half kickoff. This is Tiger Football on ECTV, Channel 6, Edwardsville, Illinois.
And the ability to put the ball on the corner, making a big difference in this first half.
Speaking of surprising statistics, Todd, leading rusher for Edwardsville, Matt Alaria, I bet.
As rushes, but not total yardage.
Okay.
16 carries, unbelievable, for 95 yards. Travis Evans has touched the ball 9 times, 122 yards, 65 of those coming on that one big-time run.
And Joe Beavis?
Beavis has not touched the football.
0 carries.
Absolutely nothing, and that's been unbelievable. As a team, 252 total yards in the first half, 217 of those on the ground, 35 on that one catch from Blake Westra. Alaria 1 of 2 through the air. It's been a big night, big offensive night, unbelievable, 200-plus yards. Granite City only 81, that all coming on the ground as Franco, no completions.
And this game started out, Granite City, I thought started out like a house on fire.
It looked like 2 heavyweights that were going to step in the ring and slug it out.
And it's an interesting thing. I know we talk about this quite a bit at the end of the half, but Sean Odell has disappeared from the Granite City lineup.
All 33s have not touched the football much since about the 6-minute mark left in the first quarter. And Odell, 39 total yards tonight on about 6 carries, I believe it was, something like that. And he got shut down 0-1 in his last 2 carries. But, you know, you'd expect them to play him at some point. Now it's maybe too late.
Well, and you know, as perplexed as we all are about the non-touches by Joe Beavis, you can imagine what Edwardsville's upcoming opponents' scouting reports are how perplexed they're going to be.
That's a good point, JC. Now all of a sudden, let's tear up last week's report. Right. It doesn't mean anything.
So many weapons.
Aaron Skizik tees it up, and the third quarter is underway. High end-over-end kick. A little confusion. Now Granite City has the ball, and good coverage by the Tigers special teams. The Warriors take over 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line.
And a big series for the Warriors. Can they come out here and assert themselves, or is it 3 and out?
Would 3 and out be terrible, or what?
Or what? That's what it's been for the Granite City offense really since the middle of the first quarter. They have not done a thing. First and 10, Franco has them in a new set, split backfield. They're faking and they give up the middle. They are determined to run the football up the middle.
Well, I guess when the team's speed is lacking like Granite City's is, that's about all you can go, and I guess you can use some misdirection, but nothing really has seemed to work as this one has got on.
Gain of 3 brings up 2nd and 7, ball at the Warrior 29-yard line. This Granite City team played 2 quality opponents in their first 2 games and played them tough. Tonight they don't have the juice. Franco to the first man.
Back again, it's right. 2 carries in a row.
He advances the football. Nice gain on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and about, we'll call that 3. 3rd and 3.
You know, you talked about Cahokia and Jerseyville, their 2 opponents. They're not the Tigers, though, are they?
Oh, heavens. Not even in the same league. A lot of people thought Edwardsville lost a lot of people. They may be down this year, but they're wrong. Franco gives to the halfback who crosses the 35 and might be close to a Granite City first down.
And it looks like Granite City has decided to return to their original game plan and try to establish the run.
We're going to get a measurement here. Joe Beavis, the Tiger defensive captain, comes over to get some instruction. Here comes the chain gang. Hope they put an extra link or 2 in it this time. And the stretch, and it is just short. Oh, they give it to him. I think it was less than a 1/4 of an inch.
Big, big first down.
They have got to establish some kind of attack here.
You know, I think with Zach May, their starting quarterback, being injured with that separated shoulder, it came in the 4th quarter last week against Jerseyville. So this really the first game for John Franco. And he's done an okay job running the team. He just really can't hit his receivers.
1st and 10 for the Warriors. I formation this time. Give to the fullback, and he is rudely greeted. Tarpoff was in there. Ricky Sanders was in there. Number 50 for the Tigers, that is Nathan Becker. 3 of those guys. That's about 700 pounds to greet you.
And about the entire offensive line.
And now we have an injured Warrior on the field.
I guess we can inform you, I'm sure, since I see both Jeremys here, that now Cheryl Harmon has taken over the camo work. So it's been 3 different people each quarter doing a great job here on ECTV.
Okay, who goes fourth?
Flip a coin.
A real team effort as we provide you the best in high school football with the Edwardsville Tigers.
Emmy Award-winning coverage here.
Oh, of course.
And we're going to have a stoppage in play. Let's take a break while we're attending to this Granite City player. This is Tiger football on ECTV Channel 6. We're back. John, JC, and Todd and company. Where it is 2nd and 10 for the Warriors.
That was Jason Newman who got injured for Granite City. Tight end, defensive end.
And he's helped off the field and appears to be okay.
2nd and 10 from the Granite City 36. Franco the snap, toss sweep. They bring it short side. And nothing doing there at all. Looked like Nathan Becker was the first one to the ball carrier.
Outstanding run support by the Tiger defense.
Is there major penetration going on there in that defensive line?
Major. Now we'll ask the old coach over here. When the defense is penetrating like that, is that when you go to those narrower splits in the line?
Yes, you can cut down your line splits. It also provides an opportunity for a trap play to be successful when you've got over penetration.
Let's see if the Granite City coaching staff can figure that out. 3rd and 11. Franco, play action. He's got pressure already. He's off on the run, but he doesn't go very far. Becker grabbed a handful of jersey and jerked him backwards, and then the Tigers finish him off.
Well, not really what Granite City wanted, was it?
Outstanding coverage up the field, and the defensive end for the Tigers turned the play inside and prevented the quarterback from getting out on the corner.
Well, they can't really throw the ball.
No, and every time he does drop back, he's looking to run with it.
And look who's back. Beavis, Evans, and Westra. A good punt fielded by Westra, dropped. Westra, I think Granite City got the ball back.
What a major break, and we talked about turnovers being a major factor. Well, here's a turning point for Granite City if they can move the football.
It appeared to me that Westra maybe was trying to pick the ball up to run with it, and he was sideways to the ball instead of falling forward on it. So Granite City gets their first big break of the day, of the evening, turnover on the punt, and they have it 1st and 10 from the Tiger 34-yard line.
And this is a classic example of what coaches call the sudden change, the change of momentum that possibly can occur with a break like this.
Tiger faithful getting into it. The gives to the fullback. He crosses the 30 down to about the 29, I'd say. And that's going to bring up 2nd and 5 with 8 minutes and 15 seconds left, 3rd quarter. Edwardsville leads 21-zip.
Boy, major coaching down on the sidelines there by Tim Doherty. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see that or not.
Well, I thought I just saw Matt Alaria come off of the field. Does he play defense on occasion?
He just did for that one play.
I see.
I'll say one thing, when Coach Doherty says something, people listen.
Yeah, understatement of the year.
The Warriors keep plugging at it. They try off right tackle this time. Gang tackling by the Tigers.
Now there's going to be another 3rd down.
There's going to be some sore running backs in Granite City tomorrow morning.
Even when they do get a 1st down, it takes about 3-4 plays every series.
No gain on that play. 3rd and 6 for the Warriors from the Tiger 30. This is one of those instances where they really have to make something out of that turnover.
Yeah, it's a must score here. Just with 7:30 left here in the 3rd quarter, and the Tigers have not touched the football this half.
Third and 5 for the Warriors from the Tiger 28. Ferenko gives to the fullback, and he is close to a first down.
And who was that? Number 33, Sean Odell.
He's
the first
back
carry in a while,
okay,
and a first down.
Odell's tough.
Quarterback reverse pivoting and a straight ahead dive play, north-south, picks up good yardage.
Where has he been? If I'm a Granite City fan, I want to know where number 33 has been. Maybe there was a disciplinary thing there. I don't know.
I don't know. I know Stagner's on the sideline, so it's Wright now along with Odell.
Okay. And Stagner's their leading rusher.
2 tight ends in a split backfield.
Odell reverses his field and breaks the first tackle and lunges forward. They're a different football team with Odell in the lineup.
You talked about it, John. Strong runner. Got to hit the first time and still got forward.
Gain of only 1 on the play, but that was the toughest 1 yard anybody's picked up in a while. 2nd and 9. Ball at the Tiger 21-yard line. 6.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Edwardsville ahead, 21-zip. Again, the give is to Odell. And he runs over the first defender, Coates, and bulls his way forward. This Odell is a strong kid.
He really is. With those two in there, Josh Wright now and Sean Odell, a different duo, a little bit more size and some strength, unlike Stagner, who was a quick back that wasn't used very often.
That's a gain of about 8. That's going to bring up 3rd and 2.
And Granite City running that belly play, faking to the first back and giving it to the second. The Edwardsville defense swarming the first back, but Odell picking up valuable yardage.
I'm sure the defense also tired. They've been out on the field now for over 6 minutes.
Ferenko on 3rd and short keeps, finds the seam, and has the first down, tackled by Nick Tarpoff. Nick Tarpoff exchanging pleasantries with a couple of the Granite City players, and he's corralled by Joe Beavis.
You know, one of the simplest but yet one of the most effective plays in football, the quarterback snake.
If that seam is there, if the quarterback reads it right. That was a good gain on that play. He's all the way down to the 11-yard line.
Tigers called the timeout, I'm sure, giving them a rest, but I also saw Tim Doherty not pleased, first of all, with what's going on with his defense.
He's having a talk with Tarpoff now.
Well, you know, this is a proud team and football program, and now's the time for everyone to rally together.
And that's why they're such a good team, though. When you do something wrong, you're going to be told about it. It's going to be corrected. When you do something right, you also see him pat him on the back. I'm sure we'll see Tarpoff back in very quickly.
Well, you know, guys, and not to be redundant, but while we have this timeout, I mentioned something last week about my impressions of the Edwardsville football program, and having been around football now most of my life, I am extremely impressed with the caliber of coaching and the team approach that Coach Doherty has brought to Edwardsville football.
That's why your programs are successful, aren't they? You can have great athletes one year, but the programs continue to win.
There's no star system at Edwardsville.
No.
Okay. Here we go. No huddle.
1st and 10 from the 11.
Tight wing, 2 tight ends in the eye.
Ferenko gives to guess who? Odell. Odell is swarmed on the right side. There were 5 orange shirts ready for him.
John Sones was the player there. What a strong tackle.
He led the charge from his safety position. No gain on the play, brings up 2nd, and, well, they're going to give him 1. So it's going to be 2nd and 9 from the 10-yard line. Granite City, this is their deepest penetration, their best scoring chance.
And the Edwardsville defense hoping to rise up to the occasion.
They go with the first man up the middle for a good gain. The ball carrier, number 27 for Granite City, Josh Wright, 5'9", 195-pound junior.
You know, John Todd, that quick hitter has been a successful play for Granite City all evening.
It really has.
And even more successful with Odell in there at that fullback position.
Yes.
Well, this is exactly what Granite City wanted, thanks to a penalty and a turnover. Chance to keep the offense on the field.
3rd and 3. To give to Wright. Right up the middle, they're pushing that scrum forward. He's short of the first down.
Time to go for it here on 4th down, no question, 4th down territory.
Oh, they'd be crazy not to.
Well, they're looking right down the gun barrel at 4th and 1.
It's 4th and 1 for a first down, 4th and 2 for a touchdown. So they can still get a first down.
Granite City going to take a timeout.
They want to discuss their options. It will be interesting to see what they choose to do here. Coach Doherty out talking to the Tiger defense. What do you do? Just put 8, 9 guys in the box and dare them to run it?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you do. You take away the run, you take away their bread and butter, and make them do something that they're unfamiliar with.
You're almost certain they're not going to throw in this situation.
Yeah. The question is, do they try to attack off tackle, or do they try to get outside? They haven't shown that they can get outside.
I expect another quick hitter maybe.
Yes, with the success they've had running north-south all evening, I would think that would be the call. Although one of the advantages in goal line offense is that most often defenses line up in man-to-man coverage, so you've got a pre-snap key, a pre-snap advantage if you are going to throw the football, that they'll be in man coverage.
Here we go. This could be the ball game for Granite City. It is 4th and 1.
Here we go.
From the 2-yard line.
Buckle them up. Here we go.
They only have to get a yard for a first down, and we have a flag as Franco carries. Let's see who the call is going to go against.
A tremendous surge off the ball on the first count by Granite City.
Illegal procedure. A little too tremendous.
Yeah. There was such a strong surge, as you just mentioned there, JC, that you thought something probably was a reason for it, and the illegal procedure, that reason.
That sets it back 5 yards, where it's going to be 4th and 6 from the 7.
And with the crowd noise, we don't have access to the sound of the quarterback's cadence, but that may have been a quick count play.
And they struggled earlier in the game, didn't they, on that same little first count?
They most certainly did, Todd. Okay.
Here we go, 4th and 6. Franco has the snap. He's rolling. He wants to throw. He's got pressure from Sanders. Now he launches for the end zone. Incomplete. And the Tigers take over on downs. Richard Sanders does a great job of the pass rush, getting in there and making Franco throw the ball really before he wanted to.
He had a receiver open there, too, at about the 2-yard line, just overthrown.
Looked like a corner fade to me, and he just didn't get he didn't get a good throw.
No, and not a good protection scheme up front. He had a defender in his face as he was releasing the football, and there's no tougher throw than that.
And Franco now 0 for 4 on the night.
3.5 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Tigers, their first possession of the 2nd half.
So the Tigers show some intestinal fortitude and hold off the Granite City team.
They also got guts.
Beavis!
Hey, there we go. Number 33, his first carry of the night.
I was shocked.
And a gain of 7 on the play, brings up 2nd and 3. Oh, we got some new cheerleaders tonight, too, I see. I bet the girls love that. 2nd and 3 for the Tigers. Ball's on the 14-yard line of Edwardsville. Flag, I think we're going to get a procedure call against Edwardsville that time.
Game's starting to get sloppy here in the 2nd half.
And the Warriors, with a sense of desperation in their defensive scheme, covering 2 Tiger receivers with just 1 defensive back out wide.
They're daring him to throw it.
That's right.
It's been a big test here for the Tigers with Alton looming and then playing East St. Louis at home in 2 weeks. Competition gets stiffer and stiffer.
I certainly wouldn't count East St. Louis out.
No.
Back to the action. A very short gain for Travis Evans.
Evans starting to get up slow. I saw on the defensive side a few plays ago.
A little bit of a limp there, too.
They've been gang tackling him all night long, and a very big play now for the Tigers at 3rd and 2. Converting this first down could certainly make things better.
I think Evans cramping up. I just saw him leaning against one of his players.
2 minutes left, third quarter. Tigers 3rd and 2 from their own 14-yard line. Alaria is running the option. He has it, he cuts. Look at Matt go. Matt running, cruising, and is out near midfield all the way to the 48-yard line, a gain of 34 for Matt Alaria.
Not super speed from the Tiger quarterback, but great feet work on switching directions, keeping his head up, knowing where the tacklers are.
He had people chasing him all over the place. 34-yard gain gives the Tigers 1st and 10.
An outstanding call by the offense of the Edwardsville Tigers.
And Alaria also over 100 yards now, so 2 Tiger players, quarterback and a running back.
And Granite City starting to look tired.
You know, time and time again this evening, Alaria has faked to the first back and tucked the football right up in there with great success.
Beavis, Mighty Joe crosses midfield. He gets to about the 47. Gain of 4 on the play is going to bring up 2nd and 6.
I guess they kept him fresh. I guess that's really the reason for him not touching it until the second half.
And you know, right now, John Todd, a good dose of Mighty Joe Beavis, north and south, might be
lights out, huh?
Something to consider, yes. If anyone can keep the clock running, Joe Beavis can do it running north and south.
Tigers, 1st and 10. Or no, pardon me, 2nd and 5 from the Granite City 46. 2 wideouts, 1 on either side. Alaria, the long count now. Gives to Beavis, straight ahead. Look at Mighty Joe rumble.
Ball on the ground. I think Granite City has it.
Yep, they sure do.
You know, I wonder maybe now if he doesn't have a hand injury or something like that.
Number 40 on the recovery for the Warriors. And the Tigers have a turnover. George Kurgan on the recovery. Edwardsville was cruising on offense.
2 turnovers now here in the second half.
Franco gives to Josh Wright, who crosses the 45 all the way to about the 47.
And the Warriors back to their meat grinder approach to offense.
Gain of 4 on the play brings up 2nd and 6.
It's getting quite physical out there on the field now, too. Joe Beavis was in a wrestling match at the end of that play.
Yeah, tempers are flaring.
And there goes Odell on the right side for the Warrior first down as the clock runs out on the third quarter. We've played 3 at the end of 3. Edwardsville 21, Granite City zip. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with the final 12 minutes. This is Tiger Football on ECTV, Channel 6. We're ready for the fourth quarter here. It is 1st and 10 for the Warriors at the Tiger 46. Franco keeps, gets the right corner and is tackled by Demarius Coates, but a good gain on the play by Franco.
Nice mauling tackle there from the Tiger cornerback who had one-on-one with the quarterback.
These 2 teams have been pounding on each other for 36 minutes. And now a little frustration starting to seep in, especially for Granite City, I think. Tigers looking for their first shutout of the year.
That's pretty impressive that the first team so far they've shut out is this Granite City squad who scored 20 points last week. none the week before.
Especially considering the caliber of the first two opponents.
And the Tigers continue to play with intensity on defense. Everyone's continuing to run to the football.
It's a five-man front for Edwardsville. Franco gives to number 27, Watson. Right. Watson, right?
Right.
No, right. I was wrong, right? Right had the ball. And a first down for the Warriors.
And one of the most basic plays in football, dive right.
Be nice to get the Tiger defense off the field and get a good stop here and let the offensive line start to assert themselves and let some of the defensive players rest. They've been out there this entire second half.
That's the old Oklahoma drill. First and 10 for the Warriors. They give to Odell, who pounds it straight ahead. Now, Stagner has not gotten into the game in this half.
I wonder what happened with Sean Odell, because no question their best runner here tonight, and they've looked like a different team every time he's been on the field. Yeah, you can credit that to some Tiger turnovers, but still a different squad with him out there.
He really seems to be the leader of that offensive unit. 2nd and 8. Ball at the Edwardsville 33. Quick pass. Incomplete. Bringing up 3rd and 8.
Very catchable ball there that Newman, the player that got knocked down the last time they had it and taken off the field, should have had, just dropped it.
We talk about focusing on the football and the importance of concentration, and that's exactly what happened to the big tight end.
Now it's 3rd and long for the Warriors.
And with 10 minutes left, this is such a big down. And the crowd realizes it. Here come the bells and horns and whistles.
Barenko gives to the second man, Odell, who is short of the first down. He gets to about the 30.
Looked like Ziegler there along with Beavis on the tackle.
4th and, I'm going to say 4th and about 6.
No question they'll be going for it. I'd like to see a positive end here of the second half by the Tigers. Good defensive stop, a nice drive, sounds like good medicine here.
The 3rd quarter, really not a good quarter for Edwardsville.
No, by far their worst of the season.
4th and 6. Franco running the option, pitches. Odell trying to turn the corner. Demarius Coates says no thank you, and Joe Beavis adds the emphasis.
You know, Darrell Luster, number 32, has played a lot here tonight. Defensive player for the Tigers. He's a junior at 6 foot, about 160 pounds, and nice tackle there, and they played him at a bunch of different spots rushing the passer, and played a solid football game as well as being a talented running back.
And I'll tell you what, although the defense has been on the field a long time and there's been yardage accumulated between the 30s, when it's been necessary to rise up and make the big play, they've been able to do so consistently.
Very important, isn't it?
They've answered the bell at crunch time. Now the Tigers take over on offense. Westra flanks to the left, Coates to the right. And the give is to mighty Joe Beavis.
Fresh legs, and he's running north and south for a big gain.
He gets to the 40.
I think a chance to let him touch the football after fumbling the previous time. Gained some confidence.
He gets to the 39, pardon me, brings up 2nd and 2.
Granite City now lining up exclusively in man coverage and trying to get people around the ball to knock it loose.
Alaria is ready. Again, Beavis on the carry.
Fumbled again.
Fumbled and recovered again by Granite City. Fumbles on consecutive possessions now by the Tigers.
You know, maybe something's going on that we don't know about. I don't know, hand, arm of some sort. He looks to be grimacing.
It looked to me, though, as he started with the ball, that he didn't quite have it all the way in his arms.
You can certainly play defense with a bad arm or a wrist, but sometimes carrying the football is a different story.
Well, you know, so much of it is field presence. In a situation like this, you've got to anticipate the defense trying to strip the ball.
1st and 10 for the Warriors from the Tiger 39. Odell fumbles, but it's recovered by the Warriors. 2nd down.
Game film that both of these teams are going to want to forget here in the second half.
2nd and 9 from the 39 of the Tigers. 8 minutes, 15 seconds left in this one.
That's why you better play 2 consecutive quality halves, isn't it?
Yep. You can't have a letdown, especially in the Southwestern Conference. It is a give to somebody who's got a lot of orange shirts all over him.
Odell again.
Odell.
He got cut back. I don't know who was on the end, if it was Farishi or if it was Becker or Mueller or whoever it was out there.
Now Beavis is down.
But they did a nice job of making him turn inside, and the heart of that Tiger defense came there. And well, this is something you do not want to see this late in a ball game with 8 minutes left.
Faraci. I like that name. That's a good one. Faraci. Joe Beavis is laying still. He hasn't moved. It's hard to tell exactly what's going on right now. His dad is Coach Brad Beavis. This is kind of scary. He hasn't moved, fellas. Being tended to by medical people. There was a big pile up there, and he must have been right in the middle of it. Now the trainer from Granite City comes out to lend a hand. We're back. Joe Beavis comes off the field under his own power. He was on the ground for quite a while, though.
Don't know really what the injury. We were all thinking maybe it was his shoulder up here, the way they rolled him over, but he looks okay on the sideline.
3rd and 9 for the Warriors. Ferenko dropping, wanting to throw. Lets it go right side. Picked. And that is, who else? Blake Westra trying to get the corner on the right side, but he couldn't outrun the pursuit. Nonetheless, the Tigers get the turnover. They have it. 1st and 10 at their own 26, I think. 27. 1st and 10 from their own 27. J.R. Ziegler checks into the Edwardsville lineup to play fullback. So we're still not sure of the injury status of Joe Beavis. Ziegler lines up at fullback, Evans behind him in the eye, Westra flanks to the left, Coates to the right. And Ziggy gets it. Look at him run. Ziggy. A 1st down for the Tigers. You can see Granite go for the strip again that time. And Ziegler, good job protecting the ball.
Exactly. Really solid job of getting that other hand over there where he had 2 on the football.
Ziegler finding that running lane and exploding for good yardage.
Littlest guy out there, but probably the biggest heart. He is one tough customer.
I think a good nickname for him is Kamikaze. It doesn't matter if it's special teams, defense, or on the offensive side, just goes full speed all the time.
1st and 10 for the Tigers. Travis Evans finding some room. Gets to the 47, a gain of 8.
As this one has progressed, the offensive line is just opening up hole after hole, and it's getting wider and wider.
And the Tigers finishing the game the way they began it, by coming off the ball and pounding the opponent.
Which is exactly the way you want to finish. We're traveling to Alton next Friday, first road game of the year. 7:30 start. Coates flanks right, Westra left.
An 8-man front. The Warriors determined to stop the run, but they can't do it.
Evans again. A lot of guys grabbing at Travis Evans' shirt. They finally put some bodies on him, but not until he gets the second or another first down for the Tigers.
Tiger head coach Tim Doherty wasn't pleased with something that went on there, and the tackle came charging out onto the field.
They were doing a little extracurricular stuff. Number 32 was in on that play for the Tigers as well. Darrell Luster getting some playing time as a sophomore.
Playing a lot of defense, but a good solid fullback too to mix in.
Alaria has the snap. He's rolling to his right, looking. Incomplete. Ziegler, the intended receiver.
And Ziegler, wide open, simply dropped the football. I'll tell you what, you've got to take your hats off to the big people up front, the offensive line of this Tiger team. They've done an outstanding job all night long.
It's where it all starts, doesn't it? Names of Sanders, Tarpoff, Walsh, Becker, Tony Clark.
I call that the John Deere unit. They're earth movers.
They really are.
Amen.
Okay, it's 2nd and 10 for the Tigers from the Granite City 42, 5:45 left in regulation. And it is Ziggy on the carry to about the 36.
You know, somebody else ought to throw in there is the tight end, Aaron Skizik, also up front and really more a lineman than actually a pass catcher.
A blocker first and then a receiver. That's going to bring up 3rd and 5 for Edwardsville from the Granite City 37. Tigers break the huddle. This time they send 2 wide receivers to the right, John Sones and Demarius Coates. And a whistle.
Delay of game.
Delay of game against Edwardsville. Cost him 5. It'll make it 3rd and 10 now.
I think as a quarterback, that's a call that's probably difficult. You don't have a clock to look up at, and I guess the official does for the final, 5 seconds or so, does count him down.
Yes.
But it's still very tough to sometimes locate the official, and specifically with Alaria's lack of size.
30, is it a 30-second count in high school?
I believe it is. Don't quote me on that, though.
I'm going to quote you. Todd Zeal says it's 30 seconds. Todd Zeal. Todd Zudi. Oh, man, we've been up here too long tonight.
Hey, I'd take his money.
Sones in motion. Now the give. No, it's a rollout right. Pass complete to Aaron Skizik. He rumbles down the right side. Oh, and is he hog-tied?
Clotheslined.
Clotheslined down the boundary after a big gain.
Kevin Elliott. Ouch.
Well, Skizik really looks big in that uniform.
He's just a sophomore, I think.
6'2", no, a junior. 6'2", 194 pounds.
Matt Alaria executing that bootleg fake very effectively. Taking his time, selling the run.
And very nice touch on the football.
Chance to get him outside. He can see better the whole field and make his pass.
Ziggy off the left side. Short gain. Clock is running down. We're down to 4:15 left in regulation. Tigers 21, Granite City 0. Checking in, Blake, Country, and Westra.
And Coach Doherty using messengers now to send plays in.
It's usually the system they've used in years past. This year a little different.
Directly going with the quarterback. Alaria under center, gets the snap. Play action, rolling right. Pass intended for Ziegler. Incomplete. That ball was a little underthrown. Well, no, or is that... They're bringing it back, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Larry trying to get too fine with his pass, really didn't follow through and kind of short-armed it like you see sometimes people throwing in baseball.
I was watching NFL films the other night, and Mike Holmgren was talking to Brett Favre. He said, don't overthrow it, Brett, okay? Because I guess some of those guys they can throw it through a car wash and it doesn't get wet. 3rd and 7 for the Tigers from the Granite City 23. Alaria rolling left, pumps once, looking for Westra, touchdown Tigers. 23-yard touchdown pass to Blake Westra. That was the old double cut. Down
And a great looking football play.
Down, out, and down. And Alaria did a really nice job of selling it with a pump fake.
He made sure that cornerback was not sure of what to do. He broke to the one side, and that just opened it wide open in that back corner for Blake Westra.
And Westra with a big league catch there, laying out for the football.
That's a great combination, Alaria to Westra. Westra holding on the extra point. Skizik kicking. And it is good. Tigers jump in front here, 28-zip. You know, that is going to be a good omen for the Tigers come playoff time if they can throw the ball.
And they've introduced just enough of the passing game to make people recognize that they can be a threat throwing the football.
And it's still very early in the season. Only game 3.
Only game 3, and already a great combination. It's been lacking. It really has the last few years. And I think when people, if this score stays the way it is, read tomorrow's paper, they're going to be shocked at what the Tigers have done to Granite City. 28-0.
I would never have guessed this.
No.
I thought maybe a 7-point ball game.
Well, I think we all came to the stadium the first 2 games anticipating a Tiger win, but this was to be a much closer game. The Tigers really expressing themselves this evening.
Not to get ahead of myself, I think they got 3 big games left. East St. Louis in a couple weeks, then they get Belleville East on the road, and then they play that Glendale team out of Springfield, Missouri, and really 3 opponents left, I think, that have shots to beat Edwardsville. Maybe I'm overstepping myself, but I think I'm pretty realistic.
I was just about to say, I don't think Coach D's going to let him get the big head.
No.
They work hard in practice. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. You saw that the first 2 games. They really work on execution. Skizik grounds it to the shortstop. He runs. He falls. No, he doesn't. He spinnerooskies. Gets out to the left and is finally hauled down.
Travis Evans ended up with the tackle.
Who was that masked man? Number 26, I think.
Marty Graham. He's run the ball a couple times, the tailback spot.
And a tremendous display of athleticism by Marty. Spinning off and getting extra yardage.
Spinning Marty. 1st and 10 for the Warriors from their own 42-yard line.
The Warriors hoping to avert a shutout here.
John Ferenco American gives, and somebody gets creamed.
You know, Jacob Greco really penetrated the hole very nicely. He's filling in now, taking the signals for Joe Beavis's spot, and he played the last 2 weeks and did a very nice job also at that linebacker position, as Doherty talked about, adding depth to his squad.
That's right. He's finding players to step up and show that they can play on the varsity level as backups, and then next year.
Lester, another good one.
Yep, he's in there now, Lester. Franco tosses to number 34, trying the left side. That is Justin Smith.
And you know, John, you touched on something just a few moments ago that I think is so very important, and that's the approach that Coach Doherty has taken with his players to each game. They prepare themselves and eliminate themselves as a potential opponent, so that regardless of who they're playing, they're going to play their very best football.
Every program out here, as we talk about the great coaching, seems to do that, and we're so spoiled in the 4 major sports.
3rd and 3, Justin Smith running is going to be short of the first down.
And right now it was 3rd down. The Tigers are using a lot of second-string players in there, specifically on the line and the linebacker positions.
Something you said earlier, Todd, I think last week, is that at this level, coaching is so important that it really can make the difference. Now, Coach Doherty would be the first to tell you, coach doesn't win or lose a game, but he has them ready to win.
I don't know if you went down to East St. Louis last year or not. Tigers won 28-21 and should have never been able to compete in that game, let alone win, and they did.
Granite pounds it up the middle. Big gain on the play.
They go back to that quick hitter that they've used effectively throughout the game.
Enough for a first down for the Warriors. Tigers 2 minutes, 10 seconds away from a shutout. Clock starts to run again. Granite has a lot of their second string players in the ball game now. Kevin Elliott, silence tonight, no catches. Fumbled, picked up by Franco. Darrell Luster is there to greet him, and number 42 for the Tigers, Eric Bertles.
If I'm not mistaken, I think his only completion of the night was the interception throw. That's it. 0 for 6 with an interception.
And that pick was an ugly throw.
Oh, it really was, wasn't it?
I think I could have thrown.
It was underthrown by at least 10, 15 yards, and 3 Tigers were right around it, and the Granite City player was in the back of the end zone waiting for the football.
It looked like it belonged with those geese that flew by earlier.
Yeah, there you go. 2nd and 11 for the Warriors. Franco toss sweep for Justin Smith. Not much of a gain. We're down now to the final minute.
A shutout would look really good here.
Under a minute to go. Tigers 28, Granite City 0. 14-0 at half.
Do I see Joe Beavis with an ice bag on his right shoulder?
I don't know. I can't see. Could possibly be. I think he did hurt that shoulder. Franco gives to the fullback, who churns ahead. Short gain on the play.
You're right. That is Joe Beavis without his jersey on down there. He does on his right shoulder. He has an ice pack on it.
And a timeout taken by the Warriors. It looked like he might have taken a pretty good shot on that shoulder. Don't know if it was a bruise or
separation.
We can't really tell.
You know, you and I both, John, I think we're looking for number 33 down there. It took me a while to find anybody.
I was looking for him. I didn't see no 33 down there. Leave it to an old coach to find the guy that's injured.
Well, you know, I played a few games my junior year in college with a separated shoulder, and as a quarterback, it was no fun.
No.
And let's hope that Joe's shoulder can heal up for next week's game.
We're at Alton next Friday night. Game time 7:30.
Get to see Patrick May. He's probably the best wide receiver here in the Metro East area. He's been playing, I guess, for 3 years now.
Oh, he's a senior this year. I thought he graduated.
Finally. I did too until this past week. They can get anybody that can throw him the ball. He is a talent. He won a game last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago on a punt return.
That's last week against Quincy.
Tigers in a prevent
right.
defense.
There's the throw. It's caught. And the tackle by number 56.
It's Greco again.
22 on the reception for Granite City.
The Tigers in that prevent defense.
Very Al.
The corners 10 and 15 yards deep, and so often that happens in this prevent defense coverage. You end up having completions in front of you.
On the tackle, that was Jacob Greco-Roman Wrestling.
Knew that was coming.
Franco. They think he jumped offside, but there's no call. Franco rolling right, throwing for the end zone. Incomplete. And that's it. The clock runs out. That's the ball game. Tigers win it here. 28-zip over Granite City. We'll take a break, come back, and wrap things up. This is Tiger Football on ECTV, Channel 6. We're back. John, Todd, and JC, and Cheryl, and Jeremy, and Craig. And there's some other guys in here. I haven't met them yet.
A host of others.
A host of others. They've been here all night. Tigers win it here tonight, 28-zip over Granite City. A stunning victory for the Edwardsville Tigers over a team that many consider to be one of the best in the Southwestern Conference this year.
No question. I mean, an impressive win at, I think, 28-0 speaks for itself. And I think the interesting part of tonight was a fitting end. A missed pass, really, the end of the game. A player that was open for a touchdown, and they just couldn't connect on it. 0 for 7, his only completion and interception, and the Tigers roll.
Outstanding game for the Tiger quarterback tonight, Matthew Ilaria.
He had a great night. You know, he ended up throwing for 74 yards as a team, 389 yards. But the touchdown pass to Westra, and that phase of the game is getting better and better.
And he was all over his decision-making on the option.
Yes, he was, John. I'll tell you what, I see this team coming together each and every week and getting a little bit more polished, a little bit better, and a little more prepared for upcoming games.
Travis Evans, a big night tonight too, Todd.
He did. He carried the ball 12 times for 145 yards, and he had that big key run that broke things open and eventually led to a Tiger touchdown early in the second quarter. Not enough can be said of the Tiger tailback.
The one concern I think that we have after tonight's game, Joe Beavis sustained an injury. We don't know how serious yet. Serious enough that he put ice on it on the sideline. A precautionary move probably by the coaching staff.
I would think so. He's a tough kid, and there's no doubt that football is important to him.
I'm sure they'll limit his amount of contact this week of practice, and we'll have to wait until next Friday really to see what happens as far as his status. I definitely think he'll probably play the defensive side. We may see a different fullback at Alton next week.
And they're limiting his amount of contact is making a lot of guys on the scout team real happy.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to have to get pounded. We win it here tonight, 28-0. We're on the road Friday. We're at Alton. Game time 7:30. Tigers looking to make it now 4 in a row after this 28-0 win over Granite City.